Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to episode 1012 of One Piece. So yeah, we're getting into some interesting stuff. Onigashima's floating. Well, being lifted up basically by Kaido. And yeah, some wild shit keeps happening. A lot of great fights still going on. Zoro being a badass. Basically, at this point, we just kind of have to see where it's going to go. Who's going to... Like, we got Black Maria involved now. Sanji's involved with her falling into her trap and everything. So, there's a lot of factors that are kind of starting to shift a little bit. We're going to start shifting into different fights, different conflicts, different scenarios. And I like that because we've kind of needed to move into some different things. But nothing has outstayed its welcome necessarily. It's just I've wanted to see some more things be brought up, some more fights start to happen. And hopefully we'll really get to see, like, Yamato fight soon, like, really fight. Because we've seen him involved in fights and have a little bit of cool moments here and there, but never actually get into, like, a real full-on battle. Like, that's what I want to see. But I guess we're just going to have to wait and find out what happens. So, we're just going to get into this. I mean, why waste any more time? So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, we're definitely seeing a shift in this war, in this battle at Onigashima. Things are starting to change up. Things are starting to move into the next phase for sure. And I like that. I like that we're starting to just move forward, go past things that we've been focusing on. I think right now the big thorough line is the Ice Oni incident. Like, that's the one that's still continuing through. Everything else is kind of just like spreading into new stuff, or is continuing off of just recently starting to spread into new stuff, such as the fight between Frankie and Sasaki. And now we have Jinbei starting his own solo fight. We have Sanji captured by Black Maria. Yamato is in hiding, protecting Momonosuke and Shinobu, and presumably is going to tell them about Ace. So we got some new stuff going on. We're kind of going away from the older stuff. We're kind of going away from some of the older fights and whatnot, and I like that. I like that we're progressing through this arc. That things are starting to change up, that even with a big battle like this, where, yeah, certain battles, certain fights, certain moments are going to last and are going to keep continuing on and on, we're still getting to see new things start to pop up and old things start to kind of fade away. And even the Ice Oni situation is starting to be handled, thanks to the likes of Marco. So we're getting there. We are definitely making very big, valid progress here. So there's not too much very specific stuff to talk about. I feel like this episode could best be described as a setup episode. It's, again, setting up or continuing to set up stuff for what's to come. Like, we only see the very beginning of Jinbei's fights against these mammalian beasts, I guess you could call them. Members of the Beast Pirates who are very clear mammals are like these furry like cats and whatnot. Um, so we're getting the start of that fight, and the one in there. Let me go back to that real quick. Um, there was one enemy in there shown at the very end, shown at the very end of that. Yeah, that's definitely got to be Who's Who because it has like the red mask over the top of the head with the horns. That's got to be Who's Who. So I guess Jinbei will be taking him on, which is fine with me. We don't get much of the Sanji part in this, which is fine. Um, because he's kind of captured at the moment. There's not really much he can do until he escapes, and considering it's, Black Maria and other pretty girls around, he's gonna be hesitant about that. But we see that Sasaki has the Dragon Fruit's ancient type Triceratops model. So that's interesting. So we have another new dinosaur-based devil fruit introduced in this one. And it's a good design. His eyes aren't as pretty in this form, though. They aren't. And that's a little disappointing. Like, they could have still given him the pretty eyes. But yeah, the form is good, and yeah, Triceratops are very strong. I think him calling it the strongest creature in the world is a bit much. Like, I wouldn't go that far. But Triceratops were known for being pretty strong, from what we know of dinosaurs, I should say. So there is that. We get to see a little bit of Alti and Page One trying to catch up with Nami, Usopp, all of them, on the back of Kamatio. And we see Hihimaru stalling them. And successfully, too, for the amount of time that was asked of him. And although he is beaten to near death, he does manage to survive in the end, which is very good. And yeah, I'm very much interested to see just the continuing, I guess, small fights within the Isoni situation. That's going to be fairly interesting. While Chopper, Miyagi, and Tristan are trying to, multiply the cure and everything. That's definitely going to, again, be our big thorough line at the moment. That's going to be our, big focus while everything else is going on around it. And yeah, if we are going to get a backstory on Yamato and Ace in the next episode or two or whatnot, I'm going to be really excited about that, just because seeing more of Ace and everything, even if it's just a flashback because, he's dead. But seeing more of him and just how he connected in Wano and stuff is I really want to see that. We've seen how he connected with Tama and whatnot, and it's just the Wano stuff has been built up since Marineford. That was first talked about in Marineford, that he was at Wano, and that's where he learned to weave the hats from Tama and stuff. Although it didn't mention Tama back then, but still. And he taught Little Oars Jr. how to do it, and it was so good. So good. That it was built up since then, and now that we're in Wano, we're actually getting the payoff for that. And to find out that he was friends with Yamato, who is, one of my favorite characters of this entire series now, it's just that's amazing. And it's I've always loved Ace. He may not be my favorite character. I may not love him as much as some fans do, but I still love him. I love most of the characters in this to some degree. And so it's going to be really cool to see this. To just see their interactions and stuff beyond the little hints of it we've seen before. We've seen little hints of them drinking together and stuff before, but I want to actually see notable flashback stuff with them actually talking and interacting and stuff. Like that's the kind of shit I want to see with this, and I hope we get that. But obviously, as always, if you know what's to come through the manga and whatnot, please do not tell me. I wish to remain spoiler free. So I thank you all for keeping that so in the comments. For now, though, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of One Piece? And again, thank you so much for tuning in. For now, though, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.